Hey everyone, this is 13Wormwood13 with Zelda's 01 this side. We are going to review a game that came out in June of 2012 called Slender.
Yeah, Slender is a game that came out, and it was pretty much for the people who wanted one of those, surprise scares, and it has a pretty cool backstory. It's been in the media for a long time, not the game itself, but the backstory. One of the things about Slender is the playable character is a young girl. She is apparently one of the girls who was in with the drawings of the 8 pages that you collect throughout the game. The excitement of the game doesn't really happen until you collect your first page. And with the collection of the first page triggers the assault / track down of the Slender Man. So with that being said, take it away, Wormwood.
Well, I first played it because there was a lot of hype about the game. They said it was being hyped up from the reviews and everything as being the scariest game ever. And after seeing some YouTube reactions, I decided I wanted to play it. I've been a fan of creepypasta for a few years, so Slender Man wasn't anything new to me, but I decided that, I'll check it out, and I never really, I guess out of all the creepypastas, he really wasn't my favorite. But, I thought I'd give it a shot, and I checked it out, and I personally speaking, I was a bit disappointed. I feel like there wasn't enough that would actually get me personally sucked into a game like that. Between the my dog has toys, but between the the shortness of the game, the lack of backstory of the character of who you were playing, I really couldn't get into it. So me playing it, it wasn't a scary experience. As far as the way it came out whenever he found you and you'd have the static and all that stuff. I kind of got that with Alan Wake whenever the woman would fade in and out and say something to him. So, for me personally, it wasn't a scary game whatsoever. But that was
okay. Let me ask you some questions, Wormwood, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: what was the best experience in the short time that you did play? What was the best experience that you had?
Probably the sound effects. As far as like the ambiance with the sound effects, that was probably about the best.
Now, with that being said, what was the worst experience? What was the thing that turned you off the most?
Well, the primary reason I couldn't get into it is with the lack of the story, I think, because you're just kind of dropped in the middle of this, this wooded area and then, expected to find these 8 pages. And it's not that it's not challenging by any means. It's challenging. It's just not, I guess, it's not engaging for me. And the thing that I thought they could have done with it is probably add, they could have probably picked, put it this way, a better character from creepypasta, than Slender Man to make a game of. Because Slender Man goes after kids. And my first thought is, I can't really, due to the fact that I don't know who I am or anything of that nature starting out, I'm just here in the woods, I have an automatic response, and it's usually hard to get me to make up my mind or change my mind for anything if I've already made up my mind on, I guess, who I am in a game. I kind of stay in that mind frame. When you're playing a game like Alice or something like that, you automatically you know that her past is broken up, and you find out more about her past as the game goes on. But, it's, you kind of get the idea just from whenever you first pick up the game. This, I had no clue who I was. So if I'm looking at it as I'm me, and I'm a 27-year-old guy, of course, for some reason, it does not register that I'm a kid right off. It just don't do anything for me. So, I think the lack of the story element, is what turned me off, and I think that's probably was the worst experience for me.
Okay. What do you think the pros and cons of the game? Let's go ahead and start with the pros. What was the pros for the game?
I think the ambiance was about the only pro that I had personally. As far as cons go for me, I would say, the lack of background, and I would almost say that, and a lot of people will probably get pissed about this, but I think, in all honesty, the only reason it got so successful was due to the fandom. And the fandom, and usually the thing is with fandoms, they'll pick the one thing that's been out for years, and then it was never popular before, and then all of a sudden it's everybody's riding the coattails and the wave of it. And there's usually a few different types of people that play this game. Usually it's people that have never heard of the game but heard about it from a friend, which are the casual gamers, which perfectly okay, because I do the same thing. If I hear about a game and it sounds good and it's talked up, like, I'll try it out, even if I don't know anything about it. And then there's the people that kind of shove it down everybody's throats, but it's like that with any fandom. I mean, you got that with Star Wars, Star Trek, and anything. So I think as far as the cons go, I think it was a smart move to make a game of Slender Man. But as I said before, I think it was done due to popularity. I don't think it was thought out as much, because I think if they would have done something with that's nice. If they would have done something with other creepypasta characters, I mean, they could have, Jeff the Killer or Smile Dog, which is my favorite, but they could have, for an indie horror game, I mean, you can pretty much do anything with those, because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to make an epic, Elder Scrolls game or anything. You can make something similar to what they already have, but with a little bit more depth, I think. But what did you think about it whenever you played it?
Well, the experience for me was quite different than yours. I was really excited for the simplicity of it and just the simple horror that was in it. I'm really big on jump scares. That's something that really appeals to me So I think for my pros, I think the scare factor was probably one of them, because it had a lot of them. And probably the ambiance, probably the crackling of the branches, and just the sound of the night creatures in the woods, and and also the quality of the game. As short of a game as it was, the quality was real good. It didn't have anything that was really negative about the game. And probably the last one would probably be realism. The game had a real big realism to me. It was really realistic, with the way of the look of everything, and the look of the cars and the houses and the tunnels, and just pretty much everything gave you a sense of realism. Now my cons would probably have to be the lack of levels, because there's only one level in the game that's playable. And two would probably have to be the lack of gameplay, because the one level that you do get to play isn't long at all, because once you learn of all 8 positions, you can pretty much, mathematically pretty much determine how long it's going to take you to find each one. So, I mean, there isn't a lot there when it comes to gameplay or, level-wise. But the level that you do get is I was very satisfied with the one level that I did get. And I can't really complain about it.
Well, what did you think about the ending, though?
The ending was pretty shitty. I will say that. Simply because of the, you go through, this is a spoiler alert for all you people that ain't played the game, so if you don't want to know the ending, just mute me talking for a second till you see Wormwood talking, and we'll be able to continue from there. But the ending of it, you collect all 8 pages, and at the completion of finding the 8th letter, or page, whichever, you end up dying by Slender Man anyways. I mean, you do all this hard work, which, for a first-time player of the game, it is hard work because you have no idea where to go. You have no map, no compass. It's just a shot in the dark pretty much. And to do all that work and then just to die anyways is it was kind of upsetting to me. And, it shouldn't have ended that way. There should have at least added moderations of that level that would keep, players keep playing it. But the ending was not on my satisfaction bar at all.
So what would you have done if you had the chance to rewrite the ending?
I would have wrote it to where maybe you would have a way of getting out. Maybe the same way you came in, which going in isn't really explained either. So, I would have maybe found a way to possibly maybe once you got your 8th page, a gate opened and you was able to escape through the gate, or you done something other than just die anyways. It feels like it was a waste of time. The gameplay was fun, and I'm not going to say it was a complete waste of time playing the game, but it felt like, it was a smack in the face anyways. Even though you completed the game, you still lost anyhow.
Right. See, I think that was fine. That would have been like one of the major issues I would have had if I had enjoyed the game, I think, because to me there's nothing worse than you enjoying the experience of the game and then it's like it's ruined by, the shitty ending. I mean, if I could have rewrote it, I would have probably had something to where, you could have found a grown up or something that would have, but you would have to, of course, dodge Slender Man, which would have added to the gameplay because then after you have all 8 pages, you still have to find a way out. Because
it's just the ending left a real sour taste in my mouth.
Right.
It was very bad.
So you had a bittersweet experience with it.
I did. But on the most part, even though the ending, I can bypass it looking simply because of the goodness of the game. Kind of didn't make the ending as bad. Now, if the gameplay and the experience was bad and you end up having the ending that you do have, if that was the case, I wouldn't even recommend it to anybody. But, since the gameplay and the experience is good, I would recommend it.
So what would you rate it? Like on a scale from 1 to 10 on like how we'll do two ratings. How scary it is and how good it was. First of all, how scary it was.
Well, on the scare factor, I'd probably give it probably a 6.2 on the scare factor. And on the gameplay and experience wise, I give it probably a 7.2.
Okay. So you would say that there's some replayability there?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because the same pages ain't in the same location each time. You might find page 3 in the bathroom the first time, but it could be on the rock formation the second time.
See, I think scary wise, I think I'd give it I'd say about 2. I'd say I'd give it about gameplay, and for the idea, I'd probably give it a 3. It's a low score.
So you're very, very not into the game at all.
No, I think I think for the hype it generated and for the, I mean, you got to take into account a lot of the people that played it normally aren't even into scary movies. They're not really into, I guess, they don't immerse themselves into that sort of thing often. So whenever they do, you know, it's their way to escape. See, I'm looking for something that would scare me as a way for enjoyment. Because I do go that far, you know what I mean? Usually, like, I watch scary movies or what have you. And my type of scare isn't the jump scare. My type of scare is usually something more psychological. So I'm more into things that fuck with me as far as my, you know, my mental state goes. Something that would make me paranoid, something that would make me look over my shoulder. It's like whenever you watch a movie, if you can watch a movie, in my opinion, and instead of it being like jump scare after jump scare, if it sticks with you and makes you feel grimy and dirty and scared afterwards or paranoid, then it's a good movie. But I think it's just the way it is, though. I mean, people like what people like, and some people like the jump scare, and other people like, you know, psychological stuff, and then other people like stuff for things to come out of left field. And I think when it comes down to it, it's all preference, of course, but for me personally, it didn't do anything for me. I think the hype was a little too much because everybody was talking about it, and everybody, with it coming up on Steam, it's being greenlit. I don't know, because I hadn't heard anything up until today about it. It was greenlit for Steam, and then they're adding, I think, 7 to 9 maps, and it's called Slender Man Shadow, and they've got a Carnival trailer up right now for it, and but it's supposed to be releasing this month. So they said, I think the update was on the 4th. They said that it's going to be a few days, so it should be just.
And if anybody out there who is interested in the game and is not familiar with the game, and if you're curious, I will leave a link to the game and also to the Steam store down in the description below. That way you can check it out for yourself, and that way you can pretty much see for yourself what you think. And something else, well, let me see. Go ahead, Wormwood.
No, well, I mean, it's always best to try things beforehand, so I'm also going to do that, and I'm also going to, so the Slender Man game, and then I'm going to post a link to Slender Man Shadows, the official website, and of course, to the Steam store, and check it out, and if you like the game and want to leave a comment and telling us about your experiences, then leave a comment below. If you want to subscribe to either of our channels, depending on which one you're watching, there'll be a link to his channel in mine, and vice versa.
Same with his down here.
He's just getting his started, so what can they expect if they check out your channel?
Well, this channel is going to be pretty much a game review / movie review. I am a video game nerd. I pretty much play everything, anything. I'm not too big on classifying games simply by title. I think it goes all by experience and trial and error of the game. So on my channel, you'll probably run into anything from Mario to Zelda to Slender Man. I mean, there's a wide variety of different types of gameplay.
All right, well, if that's all we got to talk about, since I gave it a low and he gave it a high, and you should decide for yourself. Just remember to post a comment below, and if you like your comment,
like and subscribe.
And subscribe, because everything's down here now, not up there anymore. So, but I guess that's
if you are one of the people with the top comments, we will give you a shout out on our next video.
Yep. So have a happy new year, and we'll see you around.